Hi folks, welcome to your maths lesson online. This is level 2 functional skills maths for week 26, and there are 2 videos this week, and the first video is about multiplying decimals. Notice in the top right hand corner we've got the no calculator sign. So what we're doing here is for the non-calculator paper. I'm going to go through what you need to do for your exam. So you're going to have to multiply a 1 to 3 digit decimal by another 1 to 3 digit decimal, and I know you're on the edge of your seat. We're going to do 5 examples together, and I can then put some practice ones on for you with the answers, so that's kind of for you to check what you're doing is right. But then ultimately you're going to do an online Microsoft form, and I'm going to give you the link for that. And you're going to do that after you've watched both videos. So what we're going to do, you're going to count the total number of decimal places. You're going to multiply as if there weren't any decimal places, and then you're going to put them back in. Don't worry if that doesn't make any sense, it will do by the end. So let's start with this simple example. We're going to count how many decimal places can we see. Well, there's just one decimal place, so I'm going to make a note of it here. Now I'm going to completely ignore it. 4 times 3 equals 12. And this one decimal place, I'm going to put it back in. So counting from the right hand side, I'm going to go in 1 decimal place, so the point is going to go here. So 0.4 times 3 equals 1.2. Let's try another example. 6 times 0.8. There is 1 decimal place. Let's make a note of it. And now I'm going to ignore it. 6 times 8 is 48. And now I'm going to put that 1 decimal place back in. So imagining I'm on the right hand side of the 8, I'm going to go in 1 place value, and that becomes 1 decimal place. So it's 6 times 0.8 equals 4.8. Let's try another. So this one's a bit longer because there are more numbers involved, but there are now 2 decimal places, so 2 decimal places. And I'm going to ignore the decimal point now, and that's my new sum, 128 times 12. I'm going to do that in a grid multiplication. Sorry, that's not a very good 10. Here's my table. So we've done things like this already in class, but if you actually want some more practice on things like this, then let me know and I'll send this out to you. So I'm just solving this as we're going along. As you can see, I'm not very good at writing with the pen. 2 times 20 is 40, 2 times 8 is 16. Now I'm going to just add them all up. So we've done, that's a 0. These are zeros, by the way. So yeah, we did loads of these, especially in term 1. We had starters every week. Let's add them all up. So that column comes to 6. That comes to 13. Put the 1 there. That comes to 5, and there's just 1. So 128 times 12 equals 1,536. This is 2 decimal places. So from the end of this number, from where the 6 is, I'm going to go in 1 and 2 decimal places, which means the point's going to go here. Oh, I don't know why it's added me a funny straight line, never mind. So 1.28 times 12 equals 15.36. So a little bit more to do, but the principles are the same. You count decimal places, you do your multiplication, and then you add the decimal places back in. Let's try the next one. So now we have a decimal number on either side, but we still count the decimal points. So we've got 1 here, and we've got 1 decimal place here. So that's 2 decimal places. Now I'm going to ignore them and just do 2 times 7, which equals 14. Got to put the 2 decimal places back in. So from the end, I'm going in one decimal place and then another decimal place. So it's going to be here before the 14, so 0.2 times 0.7 equals 0. Sorry, 1, 4. Sorry about that. I was just about to sneeze and I stopped myself. Okay, let's try another one. So this one now involves a pound sign, but that doesn't actually make any difference at all. We just ignore the pound sign and put it back in later. So we've got 2 decimal places here and 1 decimal place here. So actually we have 3 decimal places altogether. Now I'm going to ignore it. So 130 times 62. So it's time for another grid. This one doesn't take too long to do. So 130, 62. We times them together. So 60 times 100, 6,000. 60 times 30, 1,800. 2 times 1, 260. Again, if you want a bit more practice just doing the multiplication grid, let me know and I'll send you something to do. So now we're just going to add them all together. When you're adding these, make sure that you are lining them up properly. That's why I always start with the largest number. So 0's there, a 6 there, that'll be a 10 there, 6, 7, 8. So 130 times 62 equals 8,060. But we've got 3 decimal places. So from the end of the number, so after the 0, I'm going to go in 1, 2, 3, and the decimal point's going to go here. So £1.30 times 6.2 equals 8.06. Now I know there's a 0 on the end, but I mean it's just a 0, so yeah. And it's money because it's we don't actually need that one because it's just a 0 on the end. That means there's nothing sort of after that point. Okay. So that concludes that video. So remember, you have to count the total number of decimal places, then just multiply as if they went there, and then you've got to put them back in afterwards. And this was our learning objective, being able to multiply those decimals by themselves. Okay, that is the end.